Let's talk baseball. Me and you have a lot of interesting baseball conversations.
I love baseball.
See, I know you do, and I brought this up to one of my buddies who's a huge baseball guy, big analytics when it comes to baseball. I think last year's playoffs, maybe it was because we had a great series against the Tigers, and albeit whatever the result was, it was a really entertaining series for what it was against the Yankees. Maybe it was Ohtani against the Yankees in the World Series, but I felt like last year's MLB playoffs was the most exciting MLB playoffs we've had in a long time, and it really does feel like maybe it's the Ohtani Dodger factor, but like I think baseball's heading into a golden era again.
Yeah, I saw you mention that on the sheet, and I think you're absolutely right. I think the baseball viewership is better now. I think the baseball product is better. I think it's way more fun to watch. I think the shot clock, the pitch clock was the
Oh,
best thing
brilliant.
that they
And
did.
I thought it was the worst idea I ever heard. And
I did too.
I'm
Now,
I'm usually resistant to change, and I'm like, you're gonna put a pitch clock in baseball, and now, to be honest with you, I couldn't imagine baseball without a pitch clock.
you don't even notice it anymore.
No.
I think now, going on a tangent, you mentioned robot umpires. I think that needs to not happen.
Okay, so
I don't like,
here's the thing though. Did you see what they're doing in spring training?
yes, I have seen it.
Okay, to
But
be honest,
my problem is
go ahead.
I grew up playing baseball, right? And one
Yep.
of the things that you learn at an early age playing baseball is when you have two strikes, you swing at anything questionable, right? You get your bat on the ball. And let's also set a precedent here. Let's say a strike is a strike. A ball, a strike is supposed to be a hittable pitch in theory, right?
Yes.
A ball 1 inch off the plate is just as hittable as a ball over the edge of the plate. I don't think pitches thrown off the plate are unhittable or unfoulable. So it's like what the players have to. It's part of the game, dude. The umpire zone is part of the game. I've
Yes.
always loved that aspect of baseball. If the umpire's giving you the inside edge, pitch the ball to the inside edge. If
Then
he's
it's on
not
the
giving it to
hitter
the
to
outside,
adjust too.
yeah. If it's not on, if he's not calling the low and outside stuff, stop throwing the low and outside stuff. I've always thought in baseball, the umpires play. They're almost a third team, right? You have two teams in NBA, NFL, and then you have the refs. I think in baseball, it's always been assumed that the umpires are an important part of the game, and they make the game fun, dude. It's the best arguing happens in baseball, right? Coaches going out and getting canned, pitchers going
Yeah.
out and getting canned.
Yeah.
It makes it fun. The arguing makes it fun. The it does suck when John Kenzie Noel comes up and gets hosed on a pitch that's at his letters when it wasn't a strike in the playoffs. Sure, it sucks, but it's part of the game, dude. For every call they get wrong for your pitcher, they're going to get right for your hitter. It's a 50-50 coin flip. If they mess up a call, it'll go your way, another time. I don't think robot umpires are the key. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the challenges. I think there are too many plays in the MLB where you could challenge so many pitches, and right now they're giving them two challenges a game. It's
Yeah.
not enough.
Okay. I mean that's where I think the balance does come in though, where it's like, you're not gonna use it a ton. You're only using it to a game. And it's like it's strategy to me of like if there's bases loaded in the third inning or whatever in a key moment, do we want to use it now or do we save it?
Yeah, I mean, I like the challenge when it comes to like tagging out base runners and getting a safer out call correct. But how
Yes.
many pitches are thrown in an MLB game? Uh, you know,
Yeah.
close to 300, close to 300
Yeah,
pitches a game.
I
It's
know. I think the issue, and Andy, I totally understand your take, and I agree with you for the most part. The reason why I think I'm warming up to the idea of it, because I didn't like the idea that the original proposed at all, which was basically we're going to take the home plate umpire out and let the robot umpire call everything, which I thought was ridiculous. And
yes.
I agree with you that every strike zone is the same, but And maybe it's the bias creeping in, and I could acknowledge it. But it seems like when umpires in the last few years have been inconsistent, they have been inconsistent on both sides. They're not calling it the same. That's my issue.
Like they're giving one pitcher the outside corner and not the other.
Yes.
Does that happen too frequently though? I mean,
To
it's
me, it feels like it does. And our Guardians have gotten a lot of breaks from it, but we've also been screwed from it.
yeah,
And I listen, if the umpire's going to be consistent with it, absolutely. But it feels like to me they're giving one guy the low pitch and they're giving the other guy the high pitch because it's based off the height of the batter almost.
right. And I mean, one thing, when it comes to the Guardians, I should be in favor of it, right? Because we have so many hitters on our team who are singles hitters
Yeah.
and good, like Jose and Stephen Kwan are two of the best pitch recognizers in the MLB. And how many
And now we
times
have
Kwan gets
Santana
hosed?
back by the
Right.
way, who's also one of the best.
I think Stephen Kwan might have one of the best eyes in the MLB for calling balls and strikes, and
Yes, I
and
agree.
he gets hosed. He got hosed a lot last year because he's so selective and so good at seeing pitches. So a guy like him, something like that would severely help him. But it's like if you only get two challenges a game, it's like you could run out of those in the first batter if you wanted to.
Well, again, that to me is the fun part of it because it's part of the strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I was Stephen Vogt, I would say let's try not to challenge anything unless there's guys in scoring position, or
Yeah.
we should at least save
Well,
one for the eighth inning or later.
here's the other thing I don't like about baseball. The one thing I think they need to change is the save out calls and these replays. They take way too long.
Way
Like
too long.
if you can't get it decided, this to me it should be the similar universal across all sports.
I agree.
If you look at a replay and you cannot decide that the call in the field should be changed within 30 seconds, the call needs to stand.
But I want you to think about something. What happens when the umpires or the refs do a 1 minute review? What
Everybody
happens?
everybody just stands around.
What happens to the viewers at home?
They're turning the TV off
They're
or they're
watching commercials.
or they're getting aggravated.
They're watching commercials. Why would the NFL want to cut out minutes of commercials?
Yeah, but to me, so I'm not a commercial watcher. As soon as there's a
No.
commercial on, even if I know it's 30 seconds, I'm flipping the channel for 30 seconds.
But it's still numbers. It's still numbers. Most people aren't flipping
Yeah,
the channel. You think about
that's,
that. How much money would the NFL lose if replays were only 15 seconds and they never cut to commercial?
yeah. No, I get
Think
it.
about that. It's all about the money, brother. Follow the money.
So I'm gonna throw a quick curveball at you because you're a baseball guy. We don't like a ton of TV media rights deals here, but what do
Hmm.
I talked a lot about the NBA and last year when they were going through the media rights deals. This baseball one to me is really interesting and pun intended, sort of came out of left field. I don't know what to make about ESPN dropping baseball. My one buddy said, could they use it to maybe get a WNBA contract? I guess, but to me, it feels like the wrong time to wait baseball.
No, 100%, dude. I think the NBA screwed themselves because of what their NBA deal was. The ESPN's NBA deal was
It's way
two,
too
two
much, and
billion.
their coverage for the NBA is BS. It's like everything else. I don't mean to go on a rant about ESPN. I don't like ESPN, as you can tell,
No,
but
Jared Allen, by the way, just jumped about 3.5 feet and swatted a ball into the crowd.
there we
That
go,
was
JA.
sick. Um, but yeah, I mean all of the NFL has it easy because it's only 16 games, 17 games.
Yeah,
It's very easy to broadcast one day or 3 days a week. All of the primetime games are already on TV with every, what, well, now it's with Prime and all these different companies. That's a whole other thing. But
yeah, it
the
is.
MLB, it's tough, dude, because there's so many games. Same with the NBA. There's so many games. It's like I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to make the money work. It's hard to give everybody viewership. And like I've always been an MLB TV subscriber, so I
Okay,
watch a lot of Guardians games.
yeah,
Last year I was an NBA TV subscriber, so I watched a lot of Cavs games. This year the Cavs luckily have been on TV, national television a lot because they're so good that I haven't really had to subscribe. But it's just tough because that's where these teams get all their money, right? That everyone's like, oh, your owner doesn't spend, your owner doesn't spend. It's like it's not that our owner doesn't have the money. It's that they, I get it. The Dolans are worth how many billions of dollars, but it's all based on TV revenue,
It
right?
is,
So,
yeah.
and when you have a market like Cleveland, where the only people watching the Guardians are Cleveland Guardians fans, it's tough because how many people live in Cleveland compared to LA and New York?
Yeah, no, it's all true. Speaking of Cleveland, I'm just gonna give you an open-ended question. You can sort of break it down how however much you want. How do you think our team is gonna do this year?
I think the Guardians are going to. I don't think they got better, and I don't think they got worse in the offseason.
Okay, that's
I
fair.
think the core is still there. You have Quan, you have Ramirez. You lost Naylor, but he showed out well in the regular season. He was awful in the postseason. Um, you did add Lane Thomas, and he was very solid for us in the postseason. The thing about the Guardians is it's all about how Vogt decides to manage these young guys because we have a lot of really, really, really good young talent. You have Chase DeLauder, who has been struck by the injury bug a lot. He's going to be good if he can make it. Manzardo is absolutely killing it right now in spring training. The dude's, I think, hitting close to 500. Um, Noel, we know what we have with Noel. He's kind of like a wild pony. When he makes contact with the ball, it's going 500 feet, but when he misses, he strikes out. Um, I'm excited to see what Bazana does, and I hope, please, please bring him up this year. I think he's good enough to play in the MLB this year. I think he was good enough to be in the MLB last year, just like Caglione and just like Condon. All three of those guys should be in the MLB this year. I think the Guardians did get lucky a lot last year, but I don't know. When you get lucky as much as they did, is it really luck or is it the fact that the Guardians play certified small ball? They play small ball. They don't wait for the home run. They have a lot of guys who put the ball in play and make the defense get them out, right? And that has
Yeah.
been the bread and butter for the last couple of years with the Guardians.
And can I add that outside of Houston, I mean, the only team that's eliminated us from the postseason has been the Yankees, like
Literally.
2017, 2020,
Yeah.
2022,
Yeah.
2024. And in my opinion, I don't think this Garrett Cole loss has been talked about much enough. It's a huge loss for them.
Oh, and Juan Soto. That's
Yeah.
two guys.
I know they used some of the money. I know they signed some free agents. Like they're going to be good, but Baltimore's still really good.
Yes.
I think Boston's going to be probably decent this year. They've been a little bit floating around 500 here and there. Like
Yes.
I think the American League is there for the taking, and I think our division is going to be the toughest probably in all of baseball, to be honest with you.
I think the Tigers are going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah,
I
they
think
are.
I think the Royals are going to be okay. I think the Twins are going to be good, but I don't know if they're going to be as good
Yeah,
as last year.
Kansas City to me is like they didn't do anything in the offseason, literally. So,
No.
like,
The
I
nice thing
don't
about our
know.
division is we get a bunch of free wins from the White Sox.
Yeah, thank God. I've been debating about 162 times this year, just taking whoever the White Sox play against in the money line and seeing how much
Throw
money
10
I can
bucks on
win.
it. 10 bucks on it
Yeah,
every on 162 games.
yeah, and see how much I win throughout the year.
Yeah,
Oh,
why
I
not?
mean, well, what are the White Sox going to win? 30 games this year? 40?
I mean, they lost Crochet, right?
Yeah.
Was that? I mean, I don't know, dude. They are terrible, but I don't know, man. I think
That's
the
the hard part
Guardians.
about baseball. And this, the one thing I will say, as much as all of these Cleveland fans want to complain about Dolan, and I get it, there's way better owners in baseball, certainly. But do you realize? Would you rather be us competing every single year, no matter how bad our roster looks, or would you rather be the White Sox? Because if you're bad in baseball, it takes a long time for you to be good again. Look at
Very
Baltimore. It took them like a decade. They have a good team now, but it took them like a half a decade or more to get this team.
yes, yeah, and they did it the right way. They built it from the ground up. I mean, most of their team is
I mean,
their own
Detroit,
homegrown guy.
how many years did we win like 20 out of 20 or 17 out of 19 games, however many games you used to play in the old division format? We used to destroy Detroit.
Yeah, crushed. Um, we've been very lucky with the product the Guardians have put out. I mean, seriously,
They have been. bar none, and this includes the Cavs and the Browns. They have been, in my and your lifetime, the most consistent team in our city.
Yes, thank you to Tito. He was fantastic for the tribe. He, kept that team afloat for so many years and made them competitive and did a great job coaching. And I'm forever grateful for what he did for the tribe. And I'm happy they moved on from him and moved to Stephen Vogt. I told you last time we did the pod, or last time we talked about it. I think Stephen Vogt is the most exciting change in Cleveland baseball that we could have asked for. He's young, he's smart, he's efficient.
And
He's
he's a
he's
former catcher.
oh, DeAndre Hunter buzzer beater at the half.
Oh, let's go.
Bang.
Anyway, Vogue is a former catcher. He's smart. I agree with you. I'm interested to see what Tito does in Cincinnati this year because that
Yeah, I'm
division
excited
is for
for
the
him.
taking.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. So, but
Uh,
finishing with the guards, I think they're in a good spot. I don't think they're in a great spot. I think they're going to be good this year. We'll probably win around the same amount of games we won last year, maybe a little less. We do get Bieber back, so we have a nice 1-2 punch with Bieber and Bibby. And forget about Tristan McKenzie because he's going through some stuff right now. You can't bank on him to do anything, but we
I
have the
I think they
fantastic
should try
bullpen.
him in the bullpen. I would try him in
Yeah,
the pen.
yeah, a late middle reliever. Get
I
a good inning out of him.
listen. I think he could be, and some people have told me it's disrespectful, but I think he could be somewhat of an Eli Morgan replacement.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's long. He has good stuff. His velo is really down right now after the injury, but if he can come back and knows that, hey, I might pitch 3 or 4 innings a week max, he can focus on getting that velo up for 15 or 20 pitches.
Yeah.
And we'll see, man. I mean, our bullpen is still fantastic. We still have Clase, even though he ruined our season, whatever. But
Well,
we have a lot of
I
good.
mean, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is. I mean,
Juan
completely
Soto, that
expected.
freaking bastard. Whatever. Go
No,
to the Mets.
and
Oh my
Giancarlo,
God.
bro, those two guys tore
Ugh.
us apart. But it is what it is,
Bringing
dude.
back bad memories. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.